We are awakening together. This is our weekly gathering we hold online. For more information, visit our website, awakening-together.org. We'd love to see you there.
Good morning, everyone. I know it's springtime here in the States, and I'm hoping in other places, but it's a beautiful day to be here. And so our members and friends now can greet one another, and Marisol will play our opening song while we do that on the chat board. Thank you, Marisol. All right, so for our statement of purpose, we are an assembly of equals joined in common purpose, awakening to one true self, within an appearance of many faiths, many cultures, and many symbols. We seek to discern one truth and to rest in its embrace. And for our core value this morning, I picked the number 5, which is we accept all forms as temporary appearances permitted through enduring awareness of self. We live this value by honoring all appearances and all experiences while continually reflecting on changeless truth. And my talk this morning is really about those temporary appearances because they are all temporary. So we will start with our announcements this morning. So thank you. So we're going to have now, Marisol, if you can play our first song. It's by Ricky Byers. It is called I Feel Like Letting Go. So I chose that song because it's a running theme for the talk. Okay. So if you will, just kind of close your eyes and I'd like to offer up prayer to center and to ground us for the rest of our talk and time together this morning. So just giving great gratitude for being first and foremost awake, aware, and alive this morning. Here we are at another chance to begin again, another chance to choose again, another chance to be, another chance to love, another chance to make mistakes, another chance to let those go, another chance to see clearer, another chance to awaken more. And we're just grateful to be alive, to have those chances. And we offer up a holy, holy space of love right now for each other, for everything and everyone, everywhere. And we just center this talk into the same space. And for this, I'm so grateful and thankful. Amen. So this morning, I want to thank Joe Schmidt for agreeing to be my reader this morning. And again, thank you, Joe. Our inspirational reading is coming from Singer's book, The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself. And Joe will be sharing a reading from chapter 11, which is called Pain, the Price of Freedom. I'll turn it over to you.
All right. Thank you, Jackie. And good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, whatever it is. I'm happy to be here with you today. Jackie said this is from The Untethered Soul, Pain, the Price of Freedom. And it's on page 104 if anyone is following along. Wise beings do not want to remain a slave to the fear of pain. They permit the world to be what it is, instead of being afraid of it. They wholeheartedly participate in life, but not for the purpose of using life to avoid themselves. If life does something that causes a disturbance inside of you, instead of pulling away, let it pass through you like the wind. After all, things happen every day that cause inner disturbance. At any moment, you can feel frustration, anger, fear, jealousy, insecurity, or embarrassment. If you watch, you will see that the heart is trying to push it all away. If you want to be free, you have to learn to stop fighting these human feelings. When you feel pain, simply view it as energy. Just start seeing these inner experiences as energy passing through your heart and before the eye of your consciousness. Then relax. Do the opposite of contracting and closing. Relax and release. Relax your heart until you are actually face to face with the exact place where it hurts. Stay open and receptive so you can be present right where the tension is. You must be willing to be present right at the place of the tightness and pain, and then relax and go even deeper. This is very deep and transformational. But you will not want to do this. You will feel tremendous resistance to doing this, and that's what makes it so powerful. As you relax and feel the resistance, the heart will want to pull away, to close, to protect, and to defend itself. Keep relaxing. Relax your shoulders and relax your heart. Let go and give room for the pain to pass through you. It's just energy. Just see it as energy and let it go. If you close around the pain and stop it from passing through, it will stay in you. That is why our natural tendency to resist is so counterproductive. If you don't want the pain, why do you close around it and keep it? Do you actually think that if you resist, it will go away? It's not true. If you release and let the energy pass through, then it will go away. If you relax when the pain comes up inside your heart and actually dare to face it, it will pass. Every single time you relax and release, a piece of the pain leaves forever. Yet every time you resist and close, you are building up the pain inside. It's like damming up a stream. You are then forced to use the psyche to create a layer of distance between you, who experiences the pain, and the pain itself. That is what all the noise is inside your mind, an attempt to avoid the stored pain. If you want to be free, you must first accept that there is pain in your heart. You have stored it there, and you've done everything you can think of to keep it there, deep inside, so that you never have to feel it. There's also tremendous joy, beauty, love, and peace within you. There's also tremendous joy, beauty, love, and peace within you. But they are on the other side of the pain. On the other side of the pain is ecstasy. On the other side is freedom. Your true greatness hides on the other side of that layer of pain. You must be willing to accept pain in order to pass through to the other side. Just accept that it is in there and that you are going to feel it. Accept that if you relax, it will have its moment before your awareness, and then it will pass. It always does. Sometimes you will notice that it feels hot inside as pain passes. In fact, as you relax into the energy of the pain, you may feel tremendous heat in your heart. That is a pain being purified from your heart. Learn to enjoy that burning. It is called the fire of yoga. It does not seem enjoyable, but you will learn to enjoy it because it is freeing you. In truth, pain is the price of freedom. And the moment you are willing to pay that price, you will no longer be afraid. The moment you are not afraid of the pain, you'll be able to face all of life's situations without fear. Sometimes you will go through deep experiences that bring up intense pain inside of you. If it is there, it is going to come up. If you have any wisdom, you will leave it alone and not try to change your life to avoid it. You will just relax and give it the space it needs to release and burn through you. You do not want this stuff inside your heart. To feel great love and freedom, to find the presence of God within you, all of this stored pain must go. It is in this inner work that spirituality becomes a reality. Spiritual growth exists in that moment when you are consciously willing to pay the price of freedom. Spiritual growth exists in that moment when you are consciously willing to pay the price of freedom. You must be willing at all times, in all circumstances, to remain conscious in the face of pain and to work with your heart by relaxing and remaining open. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you again. So the topic for today is awakening is still happening. And I want to thank Reverend Kelly Barber for my topic. I know she doesn't know this, but a couple of weeks ago when she did her homily, I was listening, and there was one moment when she said something that pinged in my ear. She said, awakening is still happening, no matter what's going on. And in that moment, I knew that was the title of my homily, because I was actually experiencing exactly what that means. So the central message that I want to share with you all this morning is that despite whatever is going on internally or whatever appears to be going on externally out there, so to speak, awakening is still happening. As we continue to keep letting go of everything that pretends, and I use the word pretend because it's not real and it's not true, but that it pretends to block love's presence or its full expression in, through, and as you is what we must let go of. And I want to go back to something that Joe just read that really hit home in the last part of what he read. He said, all of this stored pain must go. All of it, not some of it, all of it. And if there's a part of us that's like, but what about that thing? Then that resistance about that thing is what we have to look at, because that is the thing that is blocking, and it must be let go. So I've been recently experiencing clarity to see that ego uses fear and will use every trick in its book to center me, to center Jackie as the problem, and not the ego itself. And so I've been walking through a phase of seeing a lot clearer what is to be let go of, what's standing in the way of this joy and this peace that Michael Singer and so many other of our teachers tell us is here all the time. What's standing in its way? And I will tell you that there is an energy that's moving through me that's quite hard to describe at times. And it's interesting because I think I just kind of heard what that energy is about, what takes the place of when you uproot all your muckety stuff out of your way. As you let go of all of your stored pain, there's a different kind of energy waiting for you on the other side. And it's quite powerful is what I would say. So I have a couple of examples I want to share with you, but the first one I want to talk about is in this road in having things awakening as you're going through it, inspiration, guidance comes and things get pointed out, especially the things you need to let go of. So for me, I was pulled to pause because I know inside I was asking for help because of the way I had been working for years, which was I was always behind, and especially in the online world of the way we work remotely now, I could never catch up. Always late for meetings. Constantly felt I just wasn't measuring up. So if you pardon me for just a second and allow me to share my screen with you, um, just trying to see if I can find it. So I guess if somebody could just nod and let me know that you can see my screen. Okay, so I would love to show it better than what it is, but it is what it is right now. So what you will see here, what I wanted to share with you is that you'll note that the way I had been functioning, this is how I've been functioning. 20 individual 30-minute one-on-one calls, 8 departmental meetings, 8 work group meetings, 3 regional monthly meetings, 14 quarterly senior vice president or executive director meetings. And this is what spanned out over the course of a quarter, right? But those individual calls were happening bi-weekly. And one of the things I noticed is like, I had an epiphany, why can't I get a damn thing done? Oh, well, that guidance said, well, look at your calendar, sweetheart, and you're going to see what's happening. But what I want to always also point to you is that what you see here is not a way that my company told me to work. No one told me to work like this. Nobody. But what I learned and what the intuitive guidance showed me was that my working like this was a way that I covered up my inadequacy. I could not let people see that I felt inadequate, that I felt unsure. So I was busy, 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 busy. And one of the ways that, one of the things that came to me the other day when I was, before the epiphany happened, was I mentioned to my administrative assistant, why don't we just make these meetings start 5 minutes after I'm supposed to be on there? Because this was Ego's solution. Make them start later, as opposed to, can you just look at why you're late? Because that was the problem. Instead, Ego was trying to make me fit its craziness into it, if that makes sense for you. So I brought that up so you could see that this was the way that I told myself I had to function, because I did not want people to know how inadequate. And when I saw this and I asked for guidance about it, I felt it was painful. I was angry. I felt rage come up. And I felt sad that this is the story I told myself for years. This was it. And I did it. I stored it. I was the one. But then something else happened, as Mickey Singer talks about. A different kind of energies rose up in me. And this energy said, I have a friend of mine, and you guys forgive me for Sunday morning, but cursing. She has an acronym. It's called NDM. It stands for no damn more. And so I went to my calendar and I said, no damn more. Delete, 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 decline, decline, delete, delete. I became that. I even gave it a sound. My sound of delete is like, boop, delete, boop, 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 delete. That was my whole sound. I made a song out of it. Yeah, and I went to that because I could see how this was standing in my way. Like I told myself I needed to function like this. And what I was able to do was free myself so I could do the things and function and do the things I really enjoyed doing. So that was one example of walking through something that was extremely uncomfortable, extremely painful to see how I treated myself. So the second thing I wanted to point to was how awakening is still happening as we walk through fear. So the first thing was about pain, but the second thing is about fear. So I want you to step back for a minute. When I was a senior in college, I worked as a hostess at a restaurant. The greeters, hey, take people over there and seat them here. One day, and I was working this job during the summer, and I needed this job, right? Because I was a poor college student at the time, right? And so this one particular time I asked, it was payday. I was in the restaurant and I got my paycheck. I looked at it and I noticed that my hours were short. And I was like, wait a minute, something's not right. And so the lady that owned the restaurant was there and I mentioned it to her, very casually mentioned it to her. Hey, I think my hours are wrong. And she just kind of looked at me and walked away. Moments later, not good 10 minutes later, the manager walks up to me and says, uh, the manager did not, the owner didn't appreciate you asking her that question, and we're gonna have to let you go. You're fired. And I was fired on the spot. And that was very traumatic for me, but I didn't know how traumatic. But what it taught me was you're not safe. You can't ask, don't say things, don't push don't rock the boat. It's not safe. And so hold on to that story because I want you to walk with me as I show you how 38 years later, that thought was still running me. Fast forward, I have biweekly calls with my team. It's about 28 people on there. So I had requested many, many times over the course of our meeting that everybody be on camera. This is a business call. It's not like, you're just at home chilling. It's a business call. So I requested that people be on camera while we're doing this call. And I noticed for a while how people weren't, but I also did not feel empowered to say it. And I felt very nervous, very scared. Do not say anything, no matter what you say. And so I did it for a long, 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 long time, even though brewing, you know how sometimes you want to say something and right beneath the surface, every time you see it go, right? You have that kind of feeling, but you don't say it. So 2 weeks ago, I did not know, and this is how I know that energy that's moving through. I had no intentions of saying anything. And right at the very end, about 5 minutes left on the call, I was just guided to look. And I noticed 13 people were on camera and the rest of them weren't. And in the moment, it wasn't prepared. In the moment, I heard it. I opened my mouth and what came out. Everybody, 5 minutes. I need your attention. I'm going to need everyone to be on camera from here on out. That's what I've asked, and I need you all to please be on camera for our meetings. Okay? Thank you. I smiled. And they were like, uh-huh. And that was the end of the call. What I want you to hear is what happened next. What happened next was I went into full, complete panic mode. I was sure somebody was going to knock on my door, somebody was going to call me and tell me that I was in trouble. And the panic I felt was that stuff that came up from 38 years ago that you're not safe. And this is what I did. I promise you, I closed my eyes. I put both hands on my heart. And I said out loud, you are safe. Jackie, you're safe. Safe. "38 years of not feeling safe to say what I needed to say. At that moment, guidance just, it didn't ask if it was okay. It didn't ask if you were scared. It didn't ask if it was all right. It just spoke. And I felt, I am safe. Then I got a whole lot of other shit to say too. So anyway, I'm sorry for cursing. Sorry, not sorry. So I felt so much freedom in that moment. And I learned it was okay to feel that fear and it was safe to say what you need to say and that you're supported. And I was so grateful for that. And I just spoke very loving to myself. It's okay, Jackie. You're all right. It's okay. And I waited. The funny part was I waited like somebody's going to do something. I just know it. Somebody's going to call. The email's going to drop something. And you know what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. I was like, oh, y'all in trouble now because I'm about to really say some stuff. I'm kidding about that a little bit. But just feeling that was everything for me. And then the last thing I wanted to share, as I talk about how awakening is still happening, is just still happening, is this, is as we allow those painful, stored beliefs, untruth stuff that we stored for years to as we allow ourselves to look at it, as Michael Singer says, you pushed it down with pain, it's gonna come up with some pain, but you need to hear that you have everything you need to walk through it. Everything. So I will share this. I was guided to go back to learning playing keyboards, right? And what I noticed that when I sat down to practice, immediately the ego started talking. And it was saying things like, it's mostly only when I would flub a note, forget the chord, flub something on the piano, right? Here's what it was saying. You're never gonna get this. It's gonna take you years to learn how to play. You're too old to be trying to learn a new skill like this. I mean, kids learn, they're like, you know, they have all the time in the world. You don't have all this time. You work full job, blah, 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 right? It's just chatting away, chatting. And then one day I paused and I said, wait. Why is my mind talking to me like this? Why is it saying this to me? Insight that came was this. I noticed that when I type on the computer for work, like on your keyboard, on your computer keyboard, I misspell things, I hit wrong notes, wrong letters all the time. My mind says nothing about that, nothing. But when I sit down to that keyboard, it starts chatting. And I'm like, why is it saying this? I would like for you to know that what I discovered is this. My consciousness was showing me that I was seeing ego pointing its finger at me. You're the problem, it said. You're what's wrong. And what was revealed was like, can you see ego pointing its finger at you? Yes. And can you see that it's ego that's the problem? Boom, mic drop. Because the attention was focused outwardly, or shall I say, was focused on Jackie as the problem, not at it. And so what I noticed, well, if it would just shut the hell up, you could just make mistakes and, play with peace and joy. Who cares who win or how, right? But that position, I could clearly see how it was saying, you are what's wrong. It's your left hand that's untrained. You don't remember the notes. You. When all along it was it. If you feel what I'm saying here. So when I journaled on this, some of the guidance that came that week was this. I was guided, want nothing more than letting go of every thought, every upset, every emotion, and most importantly, every reason that the ego tells you not to let go. There's a reason not to want to be loving. Do you still love that person that just said something very terrible to you? Can you still love them? Look at all of the reasons and be willing to let go of all of those things, right? This is your practice. This was the guidance that came through and I contemplated. This is your practice. And what I want you to hear is that I had purchased a program to help me learn how to play. Well, the program starts you off learning how to play. My ego said, you know what? You need to learn your scales, your chords, and diatonic, tonic, augmented, minor, major. You need to learn all of that now, right now. As a matter of fact, you should be very good at it today. And, right, but the program that I purchased didn't tell me to do any of that. And I did. I did this with the ego. It got me, and I went with it until I noticed that it was trying to run it. And then when I got guidance to stop doing that, I could see its resistance. Like, oh, it's totally resistant not doing anything. And so I share this with you today just to say that even though those things are happening, the awakening is still happening for you in the best way that it knows how to happen for you, for me. And in closing, Michael Singer says this: eventually you will understand that there's an ocean of love behind all of this fear and pain, and that force will sustain you by feeding your heart from deep within. I feel my heart being fed from deep within. And so I'm not afraid of anything. As a matter of fact, I look at it all and I say, bring it on, because I don't want this stuff stored in me. I am on a mission to be free of it. And so I'm not afraid of whatever. Bring it. And sometimes I've seen some stuff going, I'm like, damn, not that though. But then I'm like, okay, I see why this is here. I got this. And when I say I got this, I mean, I know I have whatever it takes to walk through this thing, right? It's not going to kill me and it's not going to take me out of here. So we came here to be free. And no matter what the experiences are that we have, each and every one of us, we have what we need to walk through it. Because on the other side, we will know what it really means, it feels like to be only love. Because all that muckety muck stuff is the only thing standing in its way. And awakening is still happening as you walk through the muckety muck. Thank you for listening. So before Marisol plays our next song, I want to remind you that you can donate to Awakening Together by clicking on the link that Marisol will post, or you can do so by using the QR code in the sanctuary. So the next song that Marisol is going to play is called Trust Love. That is the only way you can walk through this stuff, is to trust what's holding your hand. It's by Ricky Byers. So Marisol, if you could play. Thank you. Love loves to love. I love that line in that song. So at this time, I'd like to invite anyone who'd like to share from today's homily. So is there anyone who'd like to share? I see Lidi. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Please go ahead.
Yes, and thank you. I excuse my appearance. This was a Sunday morning that I decided to let myself sleep in. So, yeah, I'm so grateful to have heard you this morning. It was so affirming to me. I realized that my body holds messages that haven't been spoken. And when last summer I was having to look into Medicaid and VA things for my dad, and it was very intimidating, and I found myself very stressful and resisting it. And I have learned to sort of ask the question, what's the thought behind this visceral response that my body is having? And I realized that the thought was, you're not smart enough to do this. And once I'm able to bring these thoughts up to be healed, it does make such a difference. And I just want to thank you so much for speaking on the awakening in the everyday. And it just, oh, it was so affirming. And I just, just thank you so much for providing your experience and the hope behind that, and the encouragement to keep bringing in the awakening into the everyday. So thank you so much. Really appreciate this.
Thank you. Anyone else? I can't even see. Okay. All righty. I don't think I see any other hands raised. So
Jackie, thank you so much. I want to just jump in and thank Livy for clarifying my thoughts. I often don't feel confident or I often don't know how to clarify what I'm thinking. And I think your homily for me really did that. you spoke to the heart, and I'm going to be listening again to the recording, and I just loved your pointers. Thank you. And thank you, Livy, for sharing that.
Thank you, Melissa. Anyone else? John?
Hi, Jackie.
Hey, John.
I just wanted to say it was good seeing you again, and I enjoyed your homily and your message that just said, let it persevere through all the mind storm. Just keep working through it. I resonated with your learning of the keyboard or relearn, just playing the keyboard. I played guitar for many years and but never to a level that I felt was good enough was good enough. It just wasn't good enough. And I'd watch people play, and even simple songs. I remember watching people who were learning how to play get through simple songs without one error. And I go, I can't do that. Why can't I do that? But I can, I've played for 50, over 50 years. Why can't I do that? And it's not about, it's where's my focus? Is my focus on the flub note? Where's my focus on, and sometimes it is, and sometimes the focus is just on letting it come through, letting the music come through. And it's just a great reminder to just pay attention to where your mind is at and what wants to run the show. So I mainly want to say I really just love seeing you again. Love you.
Great seeing you, John. So thank you, John. And I think that may be it, right? All right. So with that being said, I just want to thank each and every one of you for your time today, for being here in community with Awakening Together. I love this community and love each and every one of you. And so we have a closing song by Jiminelle, and it's called "I Forgive Myself In and Release." Isn't that a great song? To walk into this week with. Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and happy birthday, Shauna, wherever you are on the screen. Back to you, Marisol.
You've been watching our online gathering. It happens weekly on Sundays at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. To join us live in the sanctuary, visit our website, awakening-together.org. You'll want to click on Online Sanctuary in the main menu, and then in the drop-down menu, look for How to Enter the Sanctuary. Right there at the top of the page is a clickable link. We'd love to see you in the sanctuary and join with you in fellowship. Thank you again for watching. Also, please know that if you'd like to stay connected via the Awakening Together channel here on YouTube, you can subscribe and hit the bell for more notifications. We hope to see you in the sanctuary.